12:10 один из самых известных раввинов нашего времени, Маниса Фридман, в прямом эфире отвечает на вопросы наших слушателей. Вы услышите мнение самой мудрой книги человечества – Библии, о самых сложных проблемах, стоящих перед современным миром. Присылайте ваши вопросы заранее на наш имейл info@rusa.fm или во время передачи по СМС 347 460 08 77.
Добрый день всем, кто сейчас настроен на радио USA. В эфире передача Thank God It's Tuesday с самым великим, самым мудрым, самым светлым раввином нашего времени, раввином Манисом Фридманом. В этот час мы имеем шанс с ним пообщаться и настроиться правильно и мудро на том, как жить нашу жизнь в наше непростое время. И вопрос, с которым я хочу обратиться к нему сегодня, это вот с кем не поговоришь, все к чему-то готовятся. Кто получает пермиты на оружие, кто покупает генератор. Фильтры для воды, кстати, неплохая идея, говорят многие. Ну и запас еды. В общем, вот такой разговор можно услышать довольно сейчас часто и от многих. Вопрос, к чему мы такому готовимся? Вот с этим вопросом я хочу как раз и обратиться к нашему величайшему раввину Манису Фридману. Rabbi Manis Friedman, hello, thank God it's Tuesday. The question that I would like to address today is that wherever you go these days and whoever you speak to, a lot of people are preparing. They're talking about getting gun permits, buying generators, water filters, food supply. And I gotta say, mostly it's women who are taking care of this kind of business. They're the ones who are on top of it. So my question to you is, what exactly are we preparing for? Because no one is really saying anything, and but the conversations are out there and the prep work is being done. What for?
Well, there's nothing wrong with being prepared. But if you're creating a panic, you're doing the opposite. You're making yourself less ready, less capable, less prepared. So if you're doing it without a panic, it's just, nothing wrong with having a little thing stored up for, like Boy Scouts are always prepared. But no panics, no panic. What's really happening is an ideological battle. We've talked about this many times, that morality has to be settled. Not property, not territory, not borders. Moral issues. That is the big crisis of today. The physical battles are just a distraction. It's really a question of morality. So you hear it a lot, but from all the wrong places. Is this war moral? Is that what you're worried about? You're really worried about morality? So if you take the politics out of it, it's a very good conversation. It's about time we had a conversation about what is genocide and what is a civilian and who can you kill and how many can you kill. It's a wonderful conversation. If you haven't already made up your mind and you don't have your bias and you're not just out to prove that somebody else is wrong. But moral debate is so essential, it's so necessary. The question is, who do you listen to? Who is the authority on morality? The United Nations? Obviously not. So where?
Rabbi Friedman, the morality is right now. We need to have a check on morality in every corner of the world. Obviously, the war is the major place where it needs to be checked. But also everything else that is going on right now, there's farmers. Every European country is now, the farmers are standing up for their morality. All of a sudden, someone decided that manure destroys the ozone layer, and all the farmers don't have a right to exist. Where is the morality in that?
Look, it's pretty scary, but either you have morality, and that will apply to every decision in life, or you have no morality, and that will affect every decision in life. It's not made up of little pieces. Morality is one truth. If you have it, you're good. If you don't have it, nothing is good. So there will be immorality in medicine, there'll be immorality in farming, there'll be immorality certainly in politics. See, morality may be a little bit overused word, and everybody insists that they know what's moral. But a twin word, a synonym, is truth. There used to be a respect for truth. There's none today. Truth used to be a serious consideration. Now it's not. Anywhere. Whether something is true or not is not even an interesting question. Nobody cares. It's my way. It's what I want. It's what I say. Is it true? If I say so, that's good enough. It doesn't have to be true. Or my say-so is better than true. Does anybody claim to know the truth? They don't, because they don't think it's important. If they felt it was important, they would insist that they know the truth, out of arrogance. They don't insist that they know the truth because they're convinced that nobody cares about the truth. And that is impossible. You can't live like that. So one of the symptoms before the coming of Mashiach is that the truth will be absent. It simply won't exist. All through history, people twisted the truth, claimed some truth that wasn't true, which is a lie. But at least they claimed to be true because they knew that truth is important. Nobody cares today. But even people say, fact check. Even the fact check is not factual. So,
Rabbi Fridman, but if we would apply Torah to the farmers' situation right now, where they're being oppressed and are not, kind of being fought against, kind of trying to be eliminated, what is the Torah truth in accordance to farming? Can they use fertilizer? Is that something that destroys the world? Is it something that we should be concerned with?
Fertilizer is the most natural thing in the universe. If you're talking about nature, you're talking about fertilizer. There has never been a world without fertilizer. So don't tell me that fertilizers are killing the world or ruining. Nah. It's just another way of taking control. Power hungry. Now, there's nothing. Interesting conversation on the radio the other day. Some doctor, and they were talking about the COVID mess. He says, one of the signs that we should have picked up on to know that there was something corrupt about this whole pandemic, which when you think about it makes a lot of sense, is that all of a sudden doctors were not allowed to treat their patients the way they thought they should. Someone was telling doctors how to treat their patients. That should have set off some very serious red flag signals. I mean, if doctors can't treat their patients, it's all over. So no, you can't use this medicine and you can't use this treatment, you can't. Uh-oh, something's very seriously wrong. If farmers can't do what farmers do, something is wrong. Who is telling farmers what to do? People who never went to a farm? They're telling us that fertilizers are ruining the world. They don't even know what a fertilizer is. That can't be good news. It's just interference. It's not healthy. It's not even rational.
Climate change people seem to think they do know what they're talking about, but I don't know where the proof is. Rabbi Fridman, recently there's been a tiny speech by this interesting character, Yuval Harari, circulating the internet, which is getting a lot of momentum. He is the person at the World Economic Forum, the advisor. And what he is saying that is gaining a lot of momentum is that really humans don't have any rights. That this is a made-up concept, just like a lot of made-up concepts out there. And he is very eminent about what he's saying. So the question is, what do we answer to this? I mean, is this an insanity, another insanity, or is there some truth to it?
I'm not sure what he means. What does it mean humans don't have rights? Which rights?
No say, no nothing. That it's a made-up concept that people should have a say, people should, we're no different than, what does he say, woodpeckers. So, animals...
What a perfect analogy. We're just battering our heads against the wood. That's it? That's what we're doing? No, I've been saying for many, many years now that the word rights, the concept of rights, has been totally misrepresented, misunderstood. Every child has the right to a good education. I have no idea what that even means. It's like saying every child deserves to be educated. Is that a true statement? Every child deserves? I'll show you some children. They don't deserve anything. They deserve a spanking, that's it. So what do you mean everyone deserves? That's such a bad concept. And it's part of this permissive, indulgent, chaotic universe. You deserve a good hairspray. You deserve to be beautiful. You deserve... What are you talking about? It's nonsense. So the truth is, we don't deserve anything. We need. How do you deserve to be beautiful? That's pure Hollywood. That's pure Madison Avenue advertising lies. But it's damaging. Because if you raise children with the idea that they deserve to have the best shoes, the best iPhones, the best, and then they don't have it, they become bitter. They become angry. Because how can I not have what I deserve. If I can't have what I deserve, then this world is horrible. Life stinks. If I start off with the idea, I don't deserve anything, what did I do? I was born. That's it? That earns me all sorts of privileges? I don't deserve anything. Yet, I have shoes, I have an iPhone, I have a car, I have a scooter, without having to deserve it. Life is great. So you got to be really careful with this rights business. But in principle, he's right. No one has any rights other than protection from the government. That's all it ever meant. Human rights simply means government cannot dictate the behavior of its citizens. That's democracy. But aside from the right to individual choices and not being forced by a government, we have no rights to anything. We don't deserve. Life is for free. Can't deserve life. If you're grateful for life, you make your contribution and you pay back the debt. But you're in debt because you got all sorts of goodies for free. That's why people feel like if you're rich, you got to give back. But if I think I deserve to be rich, why do I have to give back? I'm only getting what I deserve. So you go get what you deserve. And if you're poor, well, then that's what you deserve. That's very nasty. But if you use that argument against people, then it gets... We don't have rights. We have moral obligation. Much more important. We're not here because of our deservedness or because of our rights. We're here because God needs us to do the right thing for His purpose, His plan, His vision. And for that, we have to be eternally grateful. How do I get to complete God's plan? That's amazing. But that gives me rights?
Rabbi
Let me give
Friedman,
a good example.
Yeah.
God says that if there is a poor man or a hungry man among you in your community, you must provide. You must give the poor their needs. Now imagine a poor man knocks on your door and says, "Can I have my money?" You say, I have your money? And he says, yeah, read the Torah. It says that the poor man asks, you have to give. So hand over my money. No, it's not your money. And you have no rights to my money. Do I have a right to my money? I have an obligation to use my money for moral achievements. So yes, I have a commandment to give you charity, but I'm giving you my money, not your money. So the fact that I'm obligated to respect you doesn't mean you have a right to be respected. I have a commandment to respect, but that's not your right. That's my moral obligation. And if I don't want to fulfill my moral obligation, that's none of your business. So you can't walk in and say, since you're obligated to be nice, you have to be nice to me. No, I don't. You can't claim it as your right. Even though I should be giving you the money. The same with everything in every relationship. The Torah says that if a woman is not intimate, refuses to be intimate with her husband, it's grounds for divorce. So now a man says, I want to be intimate and it's my right. I'm demanding it. No, it's not your right. You have no rights to intimacy. Oh yeah? Well, if she refuses, it's grounds for divorce. Okay, then get divorced, but you don't have any rights. That's a dangerous idea. You owe me? I don't owe you anything. I have an obligation, but that's between me and God, not between me and you. Now, poor people who feel disadvantaged have the right to break into a store and help themselves to what they want? Because you're poor? Dangerous concept. Now, I remember seeing one of these riots where there was looting. I think it was here in New York.
It's been everywhere.
Yeah, but this event, he was walking out, I think, with a television or with a microwave or something, and the policeman tried to stop him, and he became indignant. The looter was angry at the policeman. You're in my way. Get out of my way. It's like, I'm entitled to this. I'm not committing a crime. And part of the argument was, the stores are insured. They'll get their money back. Yeah, but you still don't deserve what you're taking, and you have no right to it. So you got to be careful with this rights business. It can be corrupted.
I think it's very corrupt.
Oh yeah. The healthy attitude, healthy, psychologically, emotionally, the healthy attitude is, I don't deserve anything because I was born for free. I've survived all these years for free. I'm healthy to whatever degree for free. I have what to eat, all for free. I didn't do anything to deserve any of it. It is so healthy. That is not a depressing thought. It's liberating. Because once you start thinking, so what do I deserve? Let me see. That can of worms will destroy you. Most people will come to the conclusion that they're not getting what they deserve.
Rabbi Friedman, but what do we do with the fact that whatever God does provide for us, and of course we have to be grateful for that, it seems that someone is trying to take it away. And we see it everywhere right now. We see this tyranny, as you said, in medicine and farming, in food supply. I mean, realistically, it's not news to anybody that the intent is for us to stop eating meat for some reason and switch over to insects. Again, not sure why. We've been doing pretty well with meat up to now, so why this grand idea is coming up and who's coming up with it is another big question, but it seems like it's collectively coming from some special place.
Isn't it amazing? For thousands of years, it seemed very strange that God would command us not to eat insects. I mean, who eats insects? Why did God have to say, don't eat insects? Well, of course not. Now we see. Torah is way ahead of us, way ahead of it. There's going to come a time where people are going to encourage you to eat insects and bugs. Don't do it. Now the commandment makes a lot of sense. We had to be forewarned. No, you don't eat bugs, you do eat meat. So we can't get so easily confused by the most recent insanity, because we have a Torah. It's gonna save us. We're not confused about men and women. Why? Because the Torah says this is male, this is female, this is a man, this is a woman. You come up with some half-baked theory? Sorry. Not gonna fly. So yes, people will always be trying to take away what you have. That is a moral dilemma. If we're morally clear about the issue, then we will not allow it. On moral grounds, not on political grounds. It's like, whoever is going to run the country is going to try to take away what you have. So pick which candidate you prefer to take away what you have.
Not funny, Rabbi Friedman.
Well, that's not a moral decision. That's purely political. If you have the moral clarity, you say, I'm sorry. No, you're not allowed to steal. The government is not allowed to steal. Rich people may not steal from the poor people. It's a different issue. It's a different awareness.
Well, unfortunately, they do not read the Torah. They do not study morality, and they're doing what they're doing. But that brings us back to the generators, gun permits, and water filters and food supplies. I would love to have a great laugh about it somewhere down the line, but right now it seems that people are preparing for exactly what we're talking about, that somebody is planning to take things away. And some way we have to protect ourselves and prepare to survive if this insanity gets out of hand, because we know that insanity does exist. It's ruling in a lot of places, and we need to protect ourselves. So the question is how to do it, as you said, without fear, obviously. So it's just in a positive, calm, normal way. But at the same time, we do have this understanding in Judaism that think good and it will be good. So when we prepare for something that's possibly is not good, are we kind of hurting the energy and not creating the positive energy that we should be creating? Does that concept hurt us? The fact that we are worried and, well, I don't want to say worried, but cautious and trying to prepare for something, God forbid it goes wrong.
So that's what we've been talking about. You want to prepare, that's fine. But that's not the real issue. If you say, all I'm going to do about this threat is I'm going to stockpile food, you're not solving the problem. You're saying there isn't going to be any morality, so I better have what to eat. But you're not attacking the problem. You're not fixing the problem. So as you stockpile your supplies, don't forget that there's a moral issue here that needs to be fixed. I mean, it's like Israel building a wall to protect itself from the neighbor's rockets or infiltration. Building a wall, that solves your problem? On the contrary, by building a wall, you're telling your neighbors that you don't expect them to stop trying to kill you. You don't expect them to become moral. All you're doing is protecting yourself from their immorality. That's not good enough. In fact, that's making it worse. So one of the ways of thinking of it is this. Let's say I'm afraid that because of evil people, I won't have what to eat. What should worry me more? The lack of food or the evil that still exists? If it's just the lack of food, I'll make sure that I have what to eat, and that's it, and I'm content. And the world can be as immoral as it wants, I don't care. That's not it. That's not the right attitude. There's more immorality and there's a shortage of food. Which is the serious problem? If you say the shortage of food, that's a very nearsighted, myopic view of life. What's more dangerous and more significant is the lack of morality, and that's what we should be focused on. How do we improve the morality of the world? That's the Torah. That's Judaism. That's a light to the nations. Stockpiling food is not a light to the nations. It's giving up on the nations. They're never going to be good. I just have to protect myself. That's not progress. That's regressing back into a ghetto. So, even talking about it helps improve the morality of the world. Keep the focus on what's important. What should we do about it? That's a very good question. And how much can the average citizen do about the corruption, the swamp in government? The solution is going to come from the people, not from the government, which is as it should be. I can't be dependent on the government for food. I certainly can't be dependent on the government for morality. The people have to tell the government how they want to make food and what's really moral. Do we know?
Well, the farmers in Europe are using their tractor trailers or whatever they are, their equipment, to make their voices heard, saying that we're not going to stand for your oppression. Okay, those are the farmers that have big machinery. What can we do on our level?
So we all have our own kinds of machinery. But even with the farmers, do they see the moral issue or they just see a crisis in food? If you don't let me use the fertilizer, we're not going to have food. That is not the biggest issue. You'll buy the food from somebody else where the government is not interfering with the fertilizer. That's not a solution. You got to attack the main villain, which is the immorality. So even the farmers should be arguing morality, not just access. It's not enough to force the government. You have to convince the government. We won't tolerate immorality.
Rabbi Friedman, unfortunately, it seems that in our times, in our days, immorality is where the money is. Okay? It seems to be coming from places and people who have the big bucks, who feel like they are it, they are the successful, they're the ones who made it, and they are the ones who have the right to decide for the rest of us because they're better and smarter and higher up than the rest of us. So it's not even so much even the government anymore. It's those people who control the government who then send it down the chain. How do we deal here? What do we do?
Same thing. You may be rich and you may be powerful, but you are wrong. You're not allowed to do what you're doing. It's a very powerful argument, by the way. Truth is powerful. Probably the most powerful.
But if those people are like Pharaoh, who think that they made themselves, that there is nothing higher than them, what's going to make them pay attention and listen to the fact that their ways are immoral?
That's where immorality begins, by thinking I made myself. That is the root of all immorality. How do we change that? Well, first of all, stop worshiping wealth, because that makes rich people think they're God. If you worship wealth and they have the wealth, well, then I must be God. We're too intimidated by rich people. We're giving them their superiority complex. Because, you wish you were like me, don't you? Well, actually, no, I wouldn't want to be you. Even with your money, I wouldn't want to be you. Because you're not good. That's such a powerful message. But when everybody is gaga about the rich and the famous, well, then the rich and the famous are going to act like gods. So we have to humble them by not believing that money gives you some kind of privilege or some kind of authority, or because you have money, you're right? No. You happen to be wrong. No more sacred cows. That's idolatry. So even if you are the most pious and the most holy leader of the biggest religion in the world, if you're wrong, you're wrong, and when you're stupid, you're stupid. Nobody can hide behind a title, behind a... That's the good side, the silver lining behind today's chutzpah. We're not afraid to tell anybody that we disagree with them. But we got to stop worshiping the wrong things. So it's really in our hands. Truth is available to everyone equally at all times. So we're not at any disadvantage if you're looking for truth. If you're looking for power, yeah, you're disadvantaged. You're not going to have any power. If you're looking for wealth, you may be very disadvantaged. The one place in which no one is less than anyone else is in truth. True is true. True is true. It doesn't matter how rich or poor you are, how strong or how weak, but true is true. It's very powerful.
Then the biggest question we have right now is, how close is everyone to wanting the truth? Because it hasn't been so before.
I think most people, the vast majority of people, want truth, are truthful, but they don't think that the truth can compete with Hollywood. The people who look for truth, who are truthful, don't think they can compete with the big lies. That's, you know, where's the expression? I forget, there it goes. It's not, the problem is not what bad people do, it's that good people remain silent.
Totally applies.
And why do they remain silent? Because they don't think the truth can impress anybody. So how do you compete with lies? A bigger lie, a better lie. And there goes the world.
And we're privileged to witness it, unfortunately, right now. What is the good news that we can walk away with from today's conversation?
The good news is 80% of mankind, of human beings, 80% know what's right. Not everything, but they have a sense of what's right. All they need is a voice. They need someone to speak for them, because they are the silent majority. So we don't have to reinvent the world. We don't have to reinvent morality or health or decency. All we need to do is have the people who know speak up. And then the lies will just disappear instantly.
Rabbi Fridman, and we're so grateful to have you do that everywhere you can, for all your seminars, for all your lectures on YouTube, and for, of course, this incredible time that you allocate for our community, for our media, for our radio, and it's absolutely priceless. I mean, every week we have a chance to remember the truth, not find it, just remember it. Thank you for reminding us, and it's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
It's going to take a lot more than one person, a lot more than 100 people. I mean, Gorbachev was the voice. That's all he was. He didn't do anything special. He wasn't anyone different. He said what a lot of people were thinking. And that's all it took to bring down communism. But Gorbachev wasn't very effective in bringing down the evils of democracy. So it was a very limited improvement. But that's all it takes, a voice. Now, if you had 100 voices, 1,000 voices, all the evil would collapse without a single shot being fired. We have to believe that. We have to trust that truth is the most powerful force in the universe, and that truth will win. The lie cannot win. If we really believe that, which of course we have to believe that, the world would be in much better shape.
Rabbi Fridman, thank you so much. Thank you for your weekly wisdom and for your daily wisdom, where people can always find you and really get with it, get with the program, find the truth, because that's really where the path that we're on, and may we get there as soon as possible. Really time.
And thank you for starting this program with good music from Benny Friedman.
We enjoy it.
And for promoting Kollel Chabad.
Absolutely.
The best charity in Israel, the most trustworthy. So, yeah, you're doing a lot of good.
Thank you. And we thank God for that opportunity. Thank you so much, Rabbi Fridman. Amazing. And hopefully next week we'll have a lot of good news to speak about. Thank you so much. Ну, а всем, кто нас слушал, огромное спасибо. Спасибо, что вы с нами. Спасибо, что вы стремитесь найти ту правду, о которой мы сегодня разговаривали с раввином Манисом Фридманом. Не забудьте посмотреть больше информации, больше вдохновляющих речей сказать нехорошо, просто мысли от раввина Маниса Фридмана на его YouTube-канале Rabbi Manis Фридман. Ну и спасибо вам за то, что вы слушаете наше радио. Распространяйте добро, будьте хорошими, будьте позитивными, и всего вам доброго. До следующей недели.
Каждый вторник в 12:10 один из самых известных раввинов нашего времени, Маниса Фридман, в прямом эфире отвечает на вопросы наших слушателей. Вы услышите мнение самой мудрой книги человечества – Библии, о самых сложных проблемах, стоящих перед современным миром. Присылайте ваши вопросы заранее на наш email info@rusa.fm или во время передачи по СМС 347 460 08 77.